Chapter 7. Obey the Law of Forced Efficiency. Concentration in its truest, unadulterated form means the ability to focus the mind on one single solitary thing, said by Komar. This law says that there is never enough time to do everything, but there is always enough time to do the most important thing. Put another way, you cannot eat every tadpole and frog in the pond, but you can eat the biggest and the ugliest one, and that will be enough, at least for the time being. When you run out of time, and the consequences for non-completion of a key task or project can be really serious, you always seem to find the time to get it done, often at the very last minute. You start early, you stay late, and you drive yourself to complete the job rather than to face the negative consequences that would follow if you didn't get it completed within the time limit. Rule: there will be never enough time to do everything you have to do. The fact is that the average person today is working at 110% to 130% of capacity, and the jobs and responsibilities just keep piling up. Everyone has stacks of reading material they still have to go through. One study concluded recently that the average executive has 300 to 400 hours of reading and projects backlogged at home and at the office. What this means is that you will never be caught up. Get that out of your mind. All you can hope for is to be on top of your most important responsibilities. The others will just have to wait. Many people say that they work better under the pressure of deadlines. Unfortunately, years of research indicate that this is seldom true. Under the pressure of deadlines, often self-created thought, procrastination, and delay, people suffer greater stress, make more mistakes, and have to redo more tasks than under any other conditions. Often the mistakes that are made when people are working under tight deadlines led to defects and cost overruns that led to substantial financial losses in the long term. Sometimes the job actually takes much more longer to complete when people rush to get the job done at the last minute and then have to redo it. There are 3 questions that you can use on a regular basis to keep yourself focused on getting your most important task completed on schedule. The first question is, what are my highest value activities? Put another way, what are the biggest frogs that you have to eat to make the greatest contribution to your organization, to your family, to your life in general? This is one of the most important questions you can ask and answer. What are your highest value activities? First, think this through for yourself. Then ask your boss, ask your co-workers and subordinates, ask your friends and family. Like focusing the lens of a camera, you must be crystal clear about your highest value activities before you begin work. The second question you can ask continually is, what can I and only I do that, if done well, will make a real difference? This question comes from Peter Drucker, the management guru. It is one of the best of all questions for achieving personal effectiveness. What can you and only you do that, if done well, can make a real difference? This is something that only you can do. If you don't do it, it won't be done by someone else. But if you do it and you do it well, it can really make a difference to your life and your career. What is your frog in your work? Every hour of every day, you can ask yourself this question and there will be a specific answer. Your job is to be clear about the answer and then to start and work on this task before anything else. The third question you can ask is, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? What is my biggest frog of all at this moment? This is the core question of time management. This is the key to overcoming procrastination and becoming a high-value productive person. Every hour of every day, there is an answer to this question. Your job is to ask yourself the question over and over again and to always be working on the answer to it, whatever it is. Do first things first and second things not at all. As Goethe said, the things that matter most must never be at the mercy of the things that matter least. The more accurate your answers to these questions, the easier it will be for you to set clear priorities, to overcome procrastination, and to get started on that one activity that represents the most valuable use of your time. Eat that frog. Your most powerful thinking tool for success is your ability to discriminate between one priority and another. Take a few minutes each day and sit quietly where you cannot be disturbed. During this time, let your mind relax and just think about your work and activities without stress or pressure. In almost every case, during this time of solitude, you will receive wonderful insights and ideas that will save your enormous amounts of time when you apply them back on the job. Often, you will experience breakthroughs and will change the direction of your life and work. Chapter 8. Prepare thoroughly before you begin. No matter what the level of your ability, you have more potential than you can ever develop in a lifetime. Said by James Mackay. One of the best ways for you to overcome procrastination and get more things done faster is for you to have everything you need at hand before you begin. When you are fully prepared, you are like a cocked gun or an archer with an arrow pulled back taut in the bow. You just need one small mental push to get started on your highest value task. This is like getting everything ready to prepare a complete meal, such as eating a big frog. You get all the ingredients out on the counter in front of you and then begin putting the dinner together, one step at a time. Begin by clearing off your desk or workspace so that you only have one task in front of you. If necessary, put everything on the floor or on the table behind you. Gather all the information, reports, details, papers, and work materials that you will require to complete the job. Have them at hand so you can reach them without getting up or moving. When I began to write my first book, I was discouraged because I could only use the hunt and peck method of typing. I soon realized that I had to learn to touch type if I was ever going to write and rewrite a 300 pages book. So I bought a touch typing program for my computer and practiced for 20 to 30 minutes every day for 3 months. By the end of that time, I was typing 40 to 50 words per minute. With this skill, I have been able to write a dozen books that have now been published all over the world. The best news is that you can learn whatever skills you need to be more productive and more efficient. You can become a touch typist if necessary. You can become an expert with a computer. You can become a terrific negotiator or a super salesperson. You can learn to speak in public. You can learn to write effectively and well. These are all skills you can acquire as soon as you decide to and make them a priority. Read in your field for at least 1 hour every day. Get up a little earlier in the morning and read for 30 to 60 minutes in a book or magazine that contains information that can help you to be more effective and productive at what you do. Take every course and seminar available on key skills that can help you. Attend the conventions and business meetings of your profession or occupation. Go to the sessions and workshops. Sit up front and take notes. Purchase the audio recordings of the programs. Dedicate yourself to becoming one of the most knowledgeable and competent people in your field. Finally, listen to audio programs in your car. The average car owner sits behind the wheel 500 to 1000 hours each year while driving from place to place. Turn driving time into learning time. You can become one of the smartest, most capable, and highest paid people in your field simply by listening to educational audio programs as you drive around. The more you learn and know, the more confident and motivated you feel. The better you become, the more capable you will be of doing even more in your field. The more you learn, the more you can learn. Just as you can build your physical muscles through physical exercise, you build your mental muscles with mental exercises. And there is no limit to how far or how fast you can advance except for the limits you place on your own imagination. Eat that frog. Resolve today to become a do it to yourself project. Become a lifelong student of your craft. School is never out for the professional. What are the key skills that can help you the most to achieve better and faster results? What are the core competencies that you will need to have in the future to lead your field? Whatever they are, set a goal, make a plan, and begin developing and increasing your ability in those areas. Resolve to be very best at what you do. Chapter 10. Leverage your special talents. Do your work, not just your work, and no more, but a little more for the lavishing sake. That little more that is worth all the rest. Said by Dean Briggs. You are remarkable. You have special talents and abilities that make you different from every other person who has ever lived. There are frogs you can eat or learn to eat that can make you one of the most important people of your generation. There are certain things that you can do or that you can learn to do that can make you extraordinarily valuable to yourself and to others. Your job is to identify your special areas of uniqueness and then to commit yourself to becoming very, very good in those areas. Your most valuable asset in terms of cash flow is your earnings ability. Your ability to work enables you to bring tens of thousands of dollars into your life every year by simply applying your knowledge and skills to your world. This is your ability to eat specific frogs faster and better than others. You could lose everything you own, your house, your car, your job, your bank account. But as long as you still had your earning ability, you could make it all back and more besides. Take stock of your unique talents and abilities on a regular basis. What is it that you do specially well? What are you good at? What do you do easily and well that is difficult for other people? Looking back at your career, what has been the most responsible for your success in life and work to date? What have been the most significant frogs you have eaten in the past? You are designed in such a way that you will most enjoy doing the very thing that you have the ability to be very best at. What is it that you enjoy the most about your work? What kind of frogs do you most enjoy eating? The very fact that you enjoy something means that you probably have within yourself the capability to be excellent in that area. One of your great responsibilities in life for you to decide what it is that you really love to do and then to throw your whole heart into doing the special thing very, very, very well. Look at the various things you do. What is it that you do that gets you the most compliments and praise from other people? What do you do that positively affects the work and the performance of other people more than anyone else? Successful people are invariably those who have taken the time to identify what they do well and most enjoy. They know what they do that really makes a difference in their work and they then concentrate on that task or area of activity exclusively. You should always focus your best energies and abilities on starting and completing those key tasks where your unique talents and abilities enable you to do it well and make a significant contribution. You cannot do everything, but you can do those few things in which you excel. The few things that can really make a difference. Eat that frog. Continually ask yourself these key questions. What am I really good at? What do I enjoy the most about my work? What has been most responsible for my success in the past? If I could do any job at all, what job would it be? If you won the lottery or came into an enormous amount of money and you could choose any job or any part of a job to do for the indefinite future, what work would you choose? What sort of preparation would you have to engage in to be able to do that work in an excellent fashion? Whatever your answer, get started today. Chapter 11. Identify your key constraints. Concentrate all your thoughts on the task at hand. The sun's rays Do not burn until brought to a focus, said by Alexander Graham Bell. What is holding you back? What sets the speed at which you achieve your goals? What determines how fast you move from where you are to where you want to go? What stops you or holds you back from eating the frog that can really make a difference? Why aren't you at your goal already? These are some of the most important questions you will ever ask and answer, achieving high levels of personal productivity and effectiveness. Whatever you have to do, there is always a limiting factor that determines how quickly and well you get it done. Your job is to study the task and identify the limiting factor or constraint within it. You must then focus all of your energies on alleviating that single choke point. In virtually every task, large or small, there is a factor that sets the speed at which you achieve the goal or complete the job. What is it? Concentrate your mental energies on that one key area. This can be the most valuable use of your time and talents. This may be a person whose help or decision you need, a resource that you require, a weakness in some part of the organization, or something else. But it is the limiting factor always there, and it is always your job to find it. For example, the purpose of a business is to create and keep a customer. By doing this in sufficient quantities, the company makes a profit and continues to grow and flourish. In every business, there is a limiting factor or choke point that determines how quickly and well the company achieves this purpose. It may be the marketing, the level of sales, or the sales force itself. It may be the cost of operations or the methods of production. It may be the level of cash flow or cost. The success of the company may be determined by the competition, the customers, or the current marketplace. One of these factors, more than anything else, determines how quickly the company achieves its goals of growth and profitability. What is it? The accurate identification of the limiting factor in any process and the focus on that factor can usually bring about more progress in a shorter period of time than any other single activity. The 80-20 rule applies to the constraints in your life and in your work. What that means is that 80% of the constraints, the factor that are holding you back from achieving your goals, are internal. They are within yourself, within your own personal qualities, abilities, habits, disciplines, or competencies. Only 20% of the limiting factors are external to you or to your organization. Your key constraint can be something small and not particularly obvious. Sometimes it requires that you make a list of every step in the process and examine every activity to determine exactly what it is that is holding you back. Sometimes it can be a single negative perception or objection on the part of the customers that is slowing down the entire sales process. Sometimes it is the absence of a single feature that is holding back the growth of sales of a product or service line. Look into your company honestly. Look within your boss, your co-workers and members of your staff to see if there is a key weakness that is holding you or the company back, that is acting as a brake on the achievement of your key goals. In your own life, you must have an honesty to look deeply into yourself for a limiting factor or limiting skills that sets the speed at which you achieve your personal goals. Successful people always begin the analysis of constraints by asking the question, what is it in me that is holding me back? They accept complete responsibility and look to themselves for both the cause and the cure of their problems. Keep asking, what sets the speed at which I get the results I want? The definition of the constraint determines the strategy that you use to elevate it. The failure to identify the correct constraints or the identification of the wrong constraint can lead you off in the wrong direction. You can end up solving the wrong problem. A major corporation, a client of mine, was experiencing declining sales. They concluded that the major constraint was the sales force and sales management. They spent an enormous amount of money reorganizing the management and retraining the salespeople. They later found that the primary reason that their sales were down was a mistake made by an accountant that had accidentally priced their products too high relative to their competition in marketplace. Once they revamped their pricing, their sales went back up and they returned off profitability. Behind every constraint or choke point, once it is located and elevated successfully, you will find another constraint or limiting factor. Whether it is getting to work on time in the morning or building a successful career, there are always limiting factors and bottlenecks that set the speed of your progress. Your job is to find them and to focus your energies on alleviating them as quickly as possible. Often starting off your day with the removal of a key bottleneck or constraints fill you full of energy and personal power. It propels you into following through and completing the job. And there is always something. Often a key constraint or limiting factor is the most important frog you could eat at that moment. Eat that frog. Identify your most important goal in life today. What is it? What one goal, if you achieved it, would have the greatest positive effect on your life? What one career accomplishment would have the greatest positive impact on your work life? Once you are clear about your major goal, ask yourself, what sets the speed at which I accomplish this goal? Why don't I have it already? What is it in me that is holding me back? Whatever your answer, take action immediately. Do something, do anything, but get started.